Country first, party second. Always.
And all representing your typical family farm.
It's time for change. Britain is a great and proud country.
They make very little money out of them at the moment, and yet the land values have been massively inflated.
Britain deserves better than that. Only a changed Labour Party will get Britain's future back.
But it descended into conflict, the police finding themselves under attack again and again.
And what an irony that some of the firms that buy the land will be foreign corporations paying hardly any UK tax.
And make no mistake, the Labour Party has changed.
Youngsters over there who are throwing fireworks, rocks, eggs, anything they can get their hands on.
I think this is day one of a real fight.
Stop the chaos, turn the page, start to rebuild.
And the police who are using water cannon to try to control them.
And we'll do it the very, very British way.
Vote Labour.
10,000 farmers, one massive protest, and a bold warning from Nigel Farage that this is just day one of a real fight. What's really at stake here? The future of Britain's family farms, rural traditions, and even the way we live and eat. Stay tuned, because today we're diving into a story that's about more than politics. It's about the soul of rural England. Today we're talking about the farmers' protest that just shook the nation, and why Nigel Farage says this is only the beginning of a nationwide battle. Stick with me, because what you're about to hear might just change the way you see the countryside and the policies shaping it. So, what's got Nigel Farage fired up? At the heart of this protest is a government plan that could devastate family farming as we know it. Farage met with farmers, many from his Clacton constituency, who are worried about inheritance tax thresholds that could wipe out centuries-old farms. Imagine land that's been in a family for generations, gone in an instant because of rising land values and poor planning. Farage didn't hold back, blaming inflated land values caused by wealthy investors.
And yet the land values have been massively inflated because a lot of billionaires have bought out farmland as a way of avoiding IHT. The problem with what the government's done is your smallholder will survive. You know, someone who's got 10 acres and has got a few sheep and does a few vegetables, they'll survive. The giant agribusinesses will survive. It's those in the middle that have tended the countryside. In the case of some families for centuries, they're going to face a massive problem, and many of them are going to get wiped out. And I just think somebody in the Treasury has done their sums wrong.
It doesn't stop there. Farage also connected the dots to a much bigger issue: food security. He believes Britain is massively underestimating the importance of homegrown food, and it's tied to controversial debates around net zero, solar farms, and even rewilding. Farage went as far as to predict that if Labour's Rachel Reeves pushes through her changes, we could see shooting bans within 5 years.
And I tell you something, I am convinced that if this goes through, by the end of the 5 years, they'll even ban shooting.
It's a stark claim, but he's convinced this is all part of what he calls a broader war on rural England. And it's not just the taxes or land policies sparking anger. Farage called out a Welsh government report that labelled rural Britain racist. Farage's message is clear. This isn't just a protest. It's a fight for traditions, culture and livelihoods that go back generations. And he's calling for action, not just in London, but in market towns and rural communities across the country.
I think this is day one of a real fight. And I want to see what's happening in London, happening in market towns right across the country.
Here's the real question. Is this the start of a rural revolution? Farage says it's the British way to fight.
And we'll do it the very, very British way.
Passionate, but peaceful. So what do you think? Are farmers right to take a stand? Or is this just political noise? This story is far from over, and whether you're in the city or the countryside, it matters.